The Wonder of You actually came about by me listening to a teacher. Her name is Nancy DeMoss Wolgemuth. She is one of my favorite teachers, and she's an amazing, amazing author. So I was listening to one of her lessons on YouTube, which I'm always on YouTube. Listen to one of her lessons on YouTube, and the lesson was called A Call to Holiness. And she's a very small woman, and she speaks very soft, but it's just so piercing when you hear her speak. So this particular day, she was talking about a call to holiness and just getting back in right line with God. And she said a couple of words that just struck me. She said, you know, we've lost the awe. We've lost the wonder of God. And I just was like, stopped dead in my tracks. And I was like, I have to write a song about that. So I just kind of like tucked it in my back pocket. I didn't really think about it. I've listened to that particular lesson like 100 times. So every time I listened to it, I was like, I gotta write a song about that. I gotta write a song about that. So one day a friend of mine sent me over some tracks, and the first couple of tracks I really wasn't feeling. But when I heard the track for this song, immediately I was like, oh, this is it. I was actually at work, and I stopped everything I was doing, and for like 20 minutes, I just sat there and just wrote the song. So yeah, it's really a reflection of that message that she was teaching. It just talks about how we've broken relationship with God. We've gotten so common with God. We know how to do church, as my aunt likes to say. We know the vernacular. We know what time service starts. We know what to wear. We know how to sit. But I feel like we've lost the respect and the honor and the wonder and the mystery of God. And I feel like that's a big part of the reason why we don't really see miracles and signs anymore. I feel like we just kind of take God for granted. And that is the complete message of the song. So I'm just really grateful that the Lord blessed me with that song. It really capped off the rest of my EP entitled The Call. It's actually the last track on the EP, and I am so proud of it. The entire EP has 8 tracks. And it just really tied up the message of my entire EP. The theme for my EP is it's like a revival EP. I like to call it a revival EP. And the reason for that is because each song has messages of coming back to God. I write in a very conversational tone. And I'll just explain that a little bit. A lot of people ask me, what am I inspired by? And I like to say that I'm inspired by everyday life, and the things that God teaches us in everyday life. So I'm always like, I see something, I'm like, wow, God, like, what about this? What about that? I'm always like talking to him in my head. And that's usually how songs come about. Or if I'm having a conversation with someone else and I have thoughts about that, I'm like, God, I don't know. I couldn't be her. I couldn't do that. And he'll start to teach me something about myself and about this walk in a song. So, yeah, all of my songs are very conversational, and they all point the believer, not necessarily the world, but the believer back to God. I just feel like the church has, and I'm not trying to chastise nobody, I'm just telling y'all what I've been observing. I feel like the church has really fallen off. And we're not peculiar anymore. And that's dangerous. We're supposed to be peculiar, we're supposed to be different, we're supposed to be unusual, and we're not. So, I just really feel like the Lord has called me to really minister to the church and to remind us, hey, we're God's people. We're God's chosen. We shouldn't look like the world. We shouldn't talk like them. We shouldn't go everywhere they go. That doesn't mean that we talk down to them or talk bad to them, but there's no way you can reach someone doing the exact same thing that they do. When people want to change, they want something different, not the same thing. And that is exactly what my album does. So back to The Wonder of You, it does that same thing. It reminds us, hey, he's not, I hate that t-shirt that says, Jesus is my homeboy. I think that's so disrespectful. I hate that. I think it's so disrespectful. Like, yes, he's your best friend, but like, don't disrespect him and say he's your homeboy. He is God, almighty, all powerful, all knowing. So that is what I wanted to bring back to God's people, because there's nowhere we're going to win the rest of the world, and we've lost that. So this was my very first video, and just off the top of my head, it was work. It was work. I anticipated much of it because I was definitely one of those little girls singing in the mirror with the brush as her microphone. So all of these things that I'm doing, I spoke it into existence. So I always anticipated doing a music video and all of this good stuff. But yeah, even though I anticipated it, it's just, you can never prepare enough for doing a music video. But it was so much fun. It was a lot of work that I do not regret doing. It was the most fun work that I've ever done. And I did get a chance to premiere my mother and my father and my oldest nephew in the video. Most people, I think that my nephew went over people's head, because many of them, they don't realize that he's grown now. He's 21. So I use him as my guy in the video, which was really, really cute and funny. And he was so good. He was such a natural. I was just like, boy, you need to be on TV because you are just too good. But it was a ball of fun. We actually shot a couple of the scenes in the house. And we shot the other intimate scenes with my parents at our home church. So I really got an opportunity to involve my family and my loved ones in the things and places that are closest to my heart. So I was really, really, really grateful for that experience. And I was adamant about getting my church sign in there. You know, everybody rep their church. I had to rep mine. And actually, if you look on my album cover, the front of the cover has the front doors to my church, and the back of the cover has the whole like corner block and the sign on the back of it. So I really went hard, and I repped my church and I repped my family for this first time around. I was very, very proud to do that. Oh yeah, and the first track on my EP is done by the late great Apostle Lyman Johnson, who was our original pastor. So I'm so proud and so happy to say ECOC for life. Okay. I was very happy to just have everybody and all my family, my home, and everybody in it, because truly they have been the backs that I've walked on to get to this place. So I'm so grateful for them. I've learned to be very, very strategic in this musical journey of mine. So when I was presented with the opportunity to present and premiere my video on MusiQBox, I was like, yes. Sometimes as an independent gospel artist, we're really, I don't think we are as respected as we should be, or we're not seen as legitimate. So having, first of all, my video premiered on MusiQBox meant everything to me. It gives my music and my whole, everything that I'm presenting, legitimacy. And it makes people take me serious. So MusiQBox has been a great blessing to me. And it has proven that if I tried to put it out on my own, I don't think the response would have been as good. And to just get into the response a little bit, I have gotten so many calls and text messages and private messages on my social media and posts and reposts, and just from people that I have not seen in years, people that I do not know at all. And it's just so amazing. My reach has been broadened so much, way more than what I could do. And, you know, we work really hard to try to build up our support system. I hate to say fans, because what? I'm a minister. Like, get out of here. I'm a servant. But so we work so hard to build up our support system, our support team, and the people that follow us and listen to us. But to have a little help every now and again, I'm not mad at that. Okay. So MusiQBox has been great. The response has been beyond me. You know, I don't have any children yet, but so everything I put out is like my baby and my child. So I was like, oh my gosh. When I saw the video, I thought it was great. I was like, yes, it's so good. But everybody might not think that. So I was like, oh my gosh, please, Lord, please let these people like this video. And everybody has said, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And I was talking to my dad, and he was saying how like people can listen to a song over and over again. But when they see the song, that makes a world of a difference. And truly, I am a witness to that. So many people have heard the song and they said, oh my gosh, I love it. It's my favorite song on the album. But now that they see the video, it's like, yes, it is so good. So I'm really, really excited about the response. And hopefully I can do some more releases on MusiQBox, because they've been a blessing to me.